disinformation shit, right? But like when you like pull these little dots piece by piece together, like I think that like there's a tremendous amount of value in that, man.
Well, obviously the show's a lot of speculation. Okay, like I don't a lot of people who watch the show, they don't understand or listen to the show. They don't understand. Like I'm using my critical thinking brain that has made me very successful entrepreneur at a pretty young age. Okay. To handle this problem for everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. I understand that the normal, person who works a regular job doesn't have time to dig into this shit. Mm-hmm. But I think what it is, bro, is that most people just fucking want to hear one piece. They're so conditioned now to hearing one piece of data, one piece of information, one headline that goes against what it is they believe. Mm-hmm. And they make this total snap judgment on the entire picture based upon that. Yeah. And that's why we are where we are, because they've conditioned humanity to be highly malleable when it comes to manipulation, because they react emotionally immediately, and they will put it's more important to them to look and appear as if they know than it is to actually be educated and know.
And know it, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
well, that's the apathy aspect of it, though, right? It's because people have just taken the seat back and put all of their fucking trust and their entire, livelihoods in the hands of, people with a bunch of letters behind their names. They've taken that step back, and so instead of
isn't that reasonable?
I mean, part of it is.
I mean, isn't it reasonable for us? I think
to have that trust?
I think it's reasonable in America that we should be able. Like when I was growing up as a kid, when I say kid, under 20 years old.
Yeah.
When we watched the news, we got the fucking news. Okay. When the Surgeon General came on TV and said, "Hey, man, this shit here is poison." Guess what? It was fucking poison. Like we were told the truth, at least to an extent. I'm sure we were lied to about foreign affairs and relations and taxes and all this shit like we are now.
Yeah, for sure.
But there was at least trust there.
Yeah.
And there is a reasonable expectation for us in this country and the citizens of the world to believe their governments are telling them the truth and have their best interest in mind. And that is not the case right now, not just here in the United States, but globally. Mm-hmm. All right? So we as citizens of the earth have a reasonable expectation that we should be able to trust that information. And I think what we're dealing with is a couple different things. One, we're dealing with people who still haven't realized that even though they should be able to believe those things, that they cannot. Right. And two, we're dealing with people who love to be right all the time. Okay? They want to stand at the water cooler at their office and be the person who knows all the shit. When in reality, bro, you don't know a fucking thing. Okay? And we're dealing with that. And that was evident in the fucking pandemic. Mm-hmm. When all these people were accusing everybody of being a baby killer and a fucking menace to society. And 50% of the Democrats were saying that people who weren't vaccinated should be removed from society. 40-something% were saying they should get their kids taken away. 30-something% said they should be in fucking jail. Okay? That's evidence of a bunch of groupthink from people who cannot think for themselves outside of what they are told to think. Mm-hmm. And these powers that be in the world are using that.
They take advantage of that.
Yes. Yeah. And so, dude, we have to understand, first off, that these people, the government, the media, these people are not our fucking friends, bro. These organizations, the World Health Organization, the World Economic Forum, none of these people represent our interests at all. They tell us they represent our interests. They trick us to go along with whatever plan they have, saying it's in our interest. But who continues to benefit and who continues to suffer? We continue to suffer and they continue to benefit. They get richer, richer, richer. We get poorer, poorer, poorer. It gets easier and easier and easier for them. It gets harder and harder and harder for us. And that is the fundamental reality that people have to understand. We are no longer represented by people who actually represent us as it's supposed to be. If you take the Constitution of the United States of America and you fucking look at it, okay, and then you look at what the government is doing, those two things are not even in the... Bro.
And haven't been for a long time.
This is fucking football.
Yeah.
This is fucking keeping up with the Kardashians.
Right.
Like, it's not even a sport. Like, We're looking at two completely different concepts. Two completely different concepts. They do not align. And this is the case for nearly every government across the entire globe right now, because we have been subverted on a global scale. We have been lied to on a global scale. We have been manipulated on a global scale. And until people wake up, rise up, and demand that to change, it's going to get worse and worse and worse. These people have no intention of ever stopping oppressing the people of this planet.
Well, you saw what just happened in Peru, bro.
I don't know if I did.
Oh, bro, there was a whole fucking coup, right?
In Peru?
In Peru. But the thing was, like, the guy that was in there, he was a fucking, loved his country, loved his people. They threw him out, locked his ass up, and installed this woman. And guess who the woman's affiliated with? You know what I'm saying? Like they keep doing this shit.
Who?
The World Economic Forum.
Yeah, so if they're willing to do those things,
We're talking about countries.
Hold on,
it's
bro.
crazy.
If they're willing to do those things, when are we as citizens of the world going to wake up and realize that they are not going to peacefully remove themselves? In fact,
no.
They are willing to do whatever the fuck they have to do. And the reason they are willing to do whatever they have to do is because they are riding the motherfucking tiger. And do you know what happens when you ride a tiger? When you ride a tiger, you can't get off the fucking tiger. They are all in. What happens to you when you fall off the tiger that you're trying to ride? It fucking eats you. Okay? So we have an entire situation where everybody in the world can see clearly what's happening for the most part. Anybody with a critical mind. And then we have a situation where these people don't care if you fucking see it, because they know if they get off, they're fucking dead.
Right. They have no choice.
Yeah. So the question's going to become, what the fuck are we going to do about it?
Mm-hmm.
And nobody wants to talk about that. Everybody wants to keep talking about, it'll change, it'll change, it'll change, it'll change. We'll get them in the next election. Motherfucker, our elections aren't fucking real. Not anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They're not real. Okay? So we're going to have to come to an understanding of what it's going to take to actually demand these people fucking, or whatever it's going to take to get these people out. The response that I continue to say and continue to have is that it doesn't need to be violent. It needs to be cultural.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Cultural change will make it so those people have no fucking power. When we are independent, when we are healthy, when we are fit, when we are financially well off, when we are setting an example in our schools, in our neighborhoods, when we are doing all of these things, it makes it impossible for them to get their way, because they can't propagate their bullshit onto an intelligent people. The people of the world have gotten fucking lazy. They've gotten too trusting. They've taken things for granted. And because of that, many of the systems in the world are now being abused by these people who don't care.